Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Recently on this channel you've seen a lot of videos about pennies, so we're going to keep that trend going, and we've got a great video for you about the 1909 United States penny. Before we get into the details of 1909, please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you want to get notifications, hit that bell button next to the subscribe button, and that will give you push notifications, I think, every time I post a video, which is usually in the evening most nights of the week. So let's get into the details of 1909. 1909 was a very special year because it was a transition year from the Indian head penny, which was made from 1859 until 1909, into the Lincoln cents, which started in 1909 and are going until today. So I've got kind of a bunch of coins right here to talk about before we get into the details. All of them have something to do with the 1909 year. So let's start up the top right here. We have an Indian head penny, 1901. This one right here is a 1919, 10 years after. We got a 1910, 1 year after. Then down here we have a couple more Indian head pennies. Let me slide them up. So this one's 1907. This one is 1909. But it looks a little bit different than this one right here because this one is what's called a Hobo Coin. So I purchased this on eBay, and what this is someone takes a penny and they carve a cool artistic design into that, and then they sell it for a little bit of a premium as kind of part a coin, part a piece of art. So unfortunately they didn't do anything with the reverse right here, but they made the obverse, a Indian head, into kind of a skeleton. So we see the skeleton right there. These are often referred to as Hobo Nickels. Nickels are kind of the most common that you'll see them on, as they are a little bit bigger of a coin, so you can carve more details into them. In the buffalo makes them an easy kind of target as far as things you could shape out of that buffalo. We've also got 4 circulating commemorative coins which were released in 2009. These are all coins that were part of the 100-year anniversary of 1909 when Lincoln first appeared on the penny. So for these coins we have his birthplace right here, his formative years right here, his work, his professional life right here, and then his presidency years right here. So those commemorate the 100-year anniversary of Abraham Lincoln appearing on the penny. They also commemorate the 200th year anniversary of Lincoln being born. That's mentioned right down here. You can see 1809. That's the birth year of Lincoln. So I'm going to move these ones out of the way, as we won't need them anymore for the rest of the video. And then I'm going to pick these two right here to use as proxies for the 1909 coins. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any 1909s to share with you in this video, but I have all the information prepared on them. I'm not sure if I ever had 1909s, maybe I just misplaced them, but when I was trying to make this video, I couldn't find them, so that seems to happen a little too frequently. Need to get a little more organized. So let's get into it right here. Let's start with the Indian head penny. So the Indian head penny was made from 1859 all the way until 1909. And the key interesting part about the Indian head penny and the Lincoln penny in 1909 is because they were split in between a year, neither of them had a full production year of mintages, and thus the mintages are generally lower across the board for both of them. And there are actually 6 different business class strike coins that were produced in 1909, and that's excluding any errors. In another video I talked about famous double dies. 1909 was one of them. We're excluding that as far as the regular business class strike coins, in which there were 6 different versions made. So starting with the Indian head penny side, there is the 1909, which is going to be from the Philadelphia Mint. That will not have a mint mark on it. There are 14 million of those made. Compared to the previous year, there were 32 million of them made. There's also the 1909S Indian head penny, which only has 309,000 of those produced. Now you might be wondering, when did they start putting the S on the penny? When did they start producing at the San Francisco Mint? Well, the year was actually the year before. So 1908 is the first year that you'll see an S on the Indian head penny. 1909 is the last year, also the second year. You'll see it on the Indian head penny, and that is by far the lowest mintage at just $309,000. The 1909 Indian head penny will sell for around $5 starting off. The 1909S will start off around $300 just based on its rarity. If it's over, worn out, it probably won't start at 300, but a regular coin with minimal damage to it will start around 300. So those are 2 of the 4 different varieties. The other 4 involve the regular 1909 Lincoln pennies and the 1909 VDB pennies. So there's 2 of them that are the regular 1909 and 2 of them that have the VDB initials on them. So the VDB initials, you've probably heard that many times before, because the 1909 VDB are one of the more famous collectible coins. The VDB is the initials for Victor David Brenner, who was the designer of this coin. Now, originally, when he designed the coin, he wrote his actual full name in tiny letters at the base of the reverse, so right down here. However, the mint director did not like that, so they changed it to just his initials. Those got released, then they were produced, released to public, and then the public did not like it because they thought it was some type of way of getting free publicity for the designer of the coin. So they argued that having his initials at the bottom was very far from inconspicuous, so they decided to get rid of those initials altogether. Instead of just moving them somewhere else on the coin, they got rid of them altogether. So that's why you don't see them in any other year other than 1909, and I think that's reasonable. I doubt that he was trying to get free publicity, but having them anywhere on the Lincoln penny, because it's just a small coin with not much lettering, it's hard to hide them anywhere. So for the different mintages for the 1909 Lincoln penny, we have being produced at the Philadelphia Mint without the initials, 72 million. 1909S, there were 1.8 million. The rare ones have to do with the initials though. So 1909 Philadelphia Mint, VDB, there are 27 million of those produced. And the real jackpot as far as the price goes is with the 1909 SVDB, in which there are only 484,000 of those produced. Looking at the recent auction results on the PCGS price guide for the 1909 SVDB, the most recent kind of big time coin that has sold was a Mint State 66, which sold in April of 2018 at a heritage auction for $8,400. There are some that are graded higher, but those haven't sold in the past year or so. So that's kind of all the info I've got for today's video. Hopefully I didn't say the initials VDB too much and gave you some good, fun, informative information about the 1909 penny. Keep your eye out there for both the Indian head penny and the Lincoln wheat penny. Thank you very much, everyone, and best of luck coin collecting out there. Enjoy.